My name is John Flynn, and right now I'm situated at the beach in Port Hueneme, in the city of Port Hueneme. And we're down here for a purpose to look at the sand erosion and what it has caused here in the city of Port Hueneme. And of course, it's very close to the port of Hueneme, which is a harbor. And as you look down south here, downstream, if you will, you'll see the water splashing up against the big rocks that the city of Port Hueneme put in here to help protect the homes that are close by, and also to help protect part of the port of Hueneme. And this is a terrible problem here, and there is a solution. We're going to talk about the solution as we move towards the Channel Islands Harbor, and I'll point out what the solution it is and where we go from there. There we are now, a little bit north of where we were when we started. Again, I'm John Flynn. I used to be a county supervisor. And we're looking at a problem here for the city of Port Hueneme, which is suffering from a lot of erosion. And that's why you see the rocks, the big rocks here to protect the city of Port Hueneme. Has some houses and condominiums, beach condominiums, and the city recently put these big rocks, they weigh a ton, and put them all up here to protect not only those homes, but the street, and also to protect the port of Hueneme. If you look over that way, you'll see there are several automobiles or vehicles there. They're not really automobiles, they're vehicles, transport small vehicles, and they come into the harbor, and the harbor then has them transported throughout the United States. They receive them from other countries of the world. But notice that the vehicle's only about 50 or 60 yards from where we're standing. So they need protection. There is a solution. As you look north here, you'll see the jetty of the port of Hueneme. Remember, there are two harbors right next to each other. The port of Hueneme, which is a commercial harbor, which is a commercial harbor, I was correct. And then you go down up north a little bit further, and we're going to go there, and you'll see Channel Islands Harbor. That's a recreation and fishing harbor. And that's where the solution is, and we're going to go up and take a look at the solution. We're now back here at Channel Islands Harbor. Remember, you have two harbors, one in the Port of Hueneme and then Channel Islands Harbor. Channel Islands Harbor is up coast from the Port of Hueneme. And here at Channel Islands Harbor is where the solution is. It has been since 1960, when the harbor was dug, a little bit before then. The harbor was built by the Army Corps of Engineers, and the harbor, Channel Islands Harbor, is right here, and it was dug out by the Army Corps of Engineers, and then every 2 years or so, the Army Corps comes in and dredges the harbor. Well, the Army Corps came in not too long ago and dredged the harbor, but did not have enough money to send the sand that I'm going to point out across the way there, that runs clear out to the sandbar. And the sandbar is that long stretch of rock you see way out there. And that sandbar was built by the Army Corps of Engineers to trap the sand. And the sand is trapped. The sand is trapped because if it were not trapped, it would go to Port Hueneme Harbor, or the Port of Hueneme, and go right down into those submarine canyons that are very deep, and the sand would just drop down there and disappear and not go to the Hueneme Beach. The sandbar was built by the Army Corps. It's a fine engineering job by the Army Corps of Engineers to trap the sand, and then every couple of years that sand is piped down to the Hueneme Beach, where we looked at erosion problems there. And what I'm suggesting is this, is that we get the county of Ventura, which owns this harbor. It's owned by the taxpayers, but the county owns the harbor for the taxpayers. Get the county and the port of Hueneme and any agency that is affected by this erosion. The city of Port Hueneme has already put in a lot of money into putting big rocks, which we showed you, to help protect the harbor and the homes down there at the city of Port Hueneme. And so any entity that's affected should contribute to the expense of dredging the sand that you see out here. There are probably 3 million cubic yards of sand that will take down to the city of Port Hueneme Beach and solve the erosion problem there. It's solved there every couple of years when the Army Corps comes in and dredges the harbor. If you read the history of Channel Islands Harbor, you will read very definitely that the harbor was built, believe it or not, to help abate the erosion of sand on the beach at the city of Port Hueneme. And that's the purpose of this beautiful Channel Islands Harbor, which is a recreation and fishing harbor. So I think the important thing to remember here is the sandbar, which we showed you, and how important that sandbar is. Very, very important. And we're going to try to get those 3 entities. I have no power over them at all. All I'm doing is suggesting what has to be done, because if you look at the beach at the city of Port Hueneme, it's pretty scary right now, even though they put up those great big huge boulders. And if you know your history very well, downstream at the Point Magoo, the erosion got so bad there that some of the buildings were washed away several years ago. So we want to protect our coast, and this is the way we have to do it. Thank you.